Hello, everybody listening to the Fairweather Podcast. Your boy 2K Suave. I'm here with Mr. Alex Rodriguez, and we have a special guest in the building today, joining us from on the Zoom call live from where are you calling from, Ruth?
Tampa, Florida, baby.
Live from Tampa, Florida. We have Ruth. Ruth, help me say your last name because I'm gonna butcher it.
Caguias.
Caguias. Okay.
Yes.
We have Ruth.
That's why I kind of stick with the Ruth the Truth because it sticks a little better.
All right, we got Ruth the Truth. I've seen a few different nicknames or whatever, but we'll go with Ruth the Truth, even though
I'm a woman of many talents, so I got a lot of nicknames to live up to. I started playing softball at a young age, so Baby Ruth the Truth was a thing for a minute. Baby Ruth, that's something like my dad liked to call me.
Baby Ruth.
Ruth.
My God, that's pretty dope.
Yeah. But I've matured since then. I'm no longer a child, so I've evolved into Ruth the Truth now.
I like Ruth the Truth better, man.
I do too.
I don't know. It gives me a lot of Paul Pierce vibes. I don't really the truth part. I'm not really crazy about Paul Pierce. So. That's cool. We appreciate you for joining us today. It's been a long time coming. We've been trying to lock you in for a while, but we patiently waited.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on. I just I'm not home a lot. I do a lot of traveling, so but I'm grateful to be here and for you guys to give me the opportunity to spread some sports knowledge.
Yeah, the pleasure's all on our side, man. We're really happy to have you on. Like KK said, it's been a long time coming, so we're totally happy to have you on. And last time when we had Christina on, I kept calling her Ruth on accident. So
no way.
Yeah, it happened. I had to correct them a few times.
Every time Christina and I step out, everybody asks us if we're sisters. So I guess I can't say I've never heard that kind of thing before. So she's a great person.
How often do you guys go to sporting events together?
When the Bucks were playing, we were going to like every other home game.
Okay.
Yeah. So, because I'm out of town a lot. So
it seems like a fun experience. You travel.
Yeah.
You travel to go to like other sporting events as well, correct?
Yes.
I've seen you like at AT&T Stadium. I think I've seen you somewhere else.
My first experience in Dallas. Yeah, this year. It was a long time coming. It was a really disappointing game, unfortunately, because the Broncos basically blew us out.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. My first time, and I had to go down like that. I was like, when I was thinking about it, I was like, they were just nervous that I was there. So I'm going to just stick with that, But a heartbreaking loss.
They had to impress you.
Oh, all right. So we're on episode 56, season 3. Let's give you the rundown of what we're going to be talking about. So, of course, we've got a special guest today, Ruth the Truth. So we're going to get to know our special guest a little bit. We're going to break down the Super Bowl, just talk about some little points there, discuss NBA talk for the first half of the season. We'll go over the trade deadline, discuss the first half of the season, and give some bold predictions, what's going to happen the rest of the way out in the second half. And then lastly, for our fun segment, since Kyler Murray decided to just unfollow the Cardinals altogether on Instagram, we're going to go over the moments to us that stick out the most for that very pettiest moments in sports. So
I'm looking forward to that segment.
Yeah,
it's funny in 2022. That is like a way to get someone's attention. I'm going to scrub everything from my social media account that had anything to do with these. Like they broke up or something. I'm like, what the hell is this childish shit here? It's kind of weird.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is. That's the narrative now, man. You gotta get attention, and social media is always watching, man. It's always got eyes on you at all times. So, but yeah, let's get to know our host. Plug yourself in the beginning. Let them know about you right out the gates.
What's up, everybody? Thank you again for having me on the show. I'm Ruth the Truth. You can follow me on Instagram at Ruth_the_truth and the number 1. Follow me and I'll give you a follow back. I'm also I try to stay active on Twitter. So you can follow me on Twitter, Ruth the Truth with 3 H's at the end. And make sure to follow the Facebook page for the NSPN Tampa Bay TV, the new network that I signed with a couple months ago. We are growing and at a fast pace, and we're just kind of trying to ride the Bucks wave right now. So you guys want to stay trending on all Tampa sports, you just lock into NSPN, and we also have a YouTube page.
Now, outside of NSPN, I know again, I research everybody before they get on here. I see that you did some writing. I saw the NSPN thing. I saw like a Sports Talk Florida thing. I saw some other things. So what else have you kind of dabbled into?
Where this all started, I'll give you the little timeline. Where this all started was back in the summer of 2018. I just woke up one day and realized I didn't want to be a bartender at Disney for the rest of my life. So I had to pick a direction and stick with it. And I'm at the bar working, and I look up at the TV and I see Michelle Beal doing an NBA segment on ESPN. And I'm just thinking, I could do that. Like, this face, I can make that work. Like, so that's where the light bulb started. So the very next day I signed up for classes to go in this journey. And during the summer, I signed up for an internship with Sports Talk Florida, the radio station here locally. They have a station in Largo and West Shore. And they needed a multimedia journalist. And I'm like, I've never really had experience writing, but why not? Let's give this a shot. But I wanted to focus more on my TV presence, being on the camera and that type of thing. That's more what I'm trying to do. But obviously the journalism comes hand in hand with that. So I took that journey. It was absolutely amazing. I went to NBA games, sideline for the Orlando Magic. And then I started doing the Orlando Apollos, which was the AAF league that they had. Very short, stiff, because 6 weeks in, they folded, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I had some time with the Orlando City Lions and the Pride, which was my first experience dealing with professional women in sports, which was absolutely incredible to be around those strong-willed women. I kind of felt like I was in the right room. So it was a great experience. And from that, I started my podcasting in 2020 when the whole quarantine went down, the world shut down, and Disney shut down. Can you freaking believe it? Disney shut down. That's how you know things are serious. So I'm sitting at home and I'm like, I need to do something with this energy. So I started a podcast, and that kind of just started a snowball effect. I interviewed Martine Gramatica on the Tom Gronkowski show that I host every Wednesday night on the Fan Sports Network. And I interviewed him on the show, and I thought it was a terrible interview, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was day drinking, which I shouldn't have done, but I was out of town and I couldn't help myself because I'm a dum-dum sometimes. And I was kind of totally unprepared for this interview because it was never locked in. So I was like, why am I going to put all this time and energy researching if it's not even a lock? And then I get a text message 5 minutes before we go live, and he's like, hey, Martine's in the back, like he's backstage. And I'm like, oh, okay, so this is happening. So I, think on my feet real quick, and I pull up a tab on Google, and I get his college stats and all that up. And I start talking to him about his journey with the Buccaneers. And it was a great conversation. He was a really easy guy to speak to, I was grateful for that. It wasn't, as a media personnel, when you ask these questions, you finally get the guts to ask these questions. And then the player says like 2 words, it completely shuts you down. So when you have somebody that's willing to have a conversation with you, it's always awesome. So after that, he called me that week, and he said, hey, so you wouldn't mind driving from like Orlando to Tampa, would you? And I'm like, okay, for what? And he's like, well, I have a TV show on Z Living Network, and my co-host is going to be out for a week due to medical surgery. So I wanted to know if you wanted to fill in.
Wow.
What? What? I'm sorry. What did you say? It was an unbelievable moment. I cried after the phone call because I'm just like, what? Like, I was just talking to my boyfriend at the time. I was just talking to him about, like, I want to do TV, like podcasting and fun is fun and everything, but I want to be on the big screen. That's where I want to end up. And then just a few months later, I got that phone call. So that was pretty awesome. So I filled in for the week, and sorry, Rock Riley, but I ended up replacing his position and became the full-time co-host as a sports analyst with Martine Gramatica on Z Living Network. Thank you. But it was a big adjustment having to come from Orlando to Tampa. That was a lot of driving, guys. Like, I was bartending till 1 a.m, getting up early, driving to Tampa to be there at 9 a.m. on set, do a 2-hour show, to drive back, to go to work, to do school in between. Like, I was pulling my hair out. So I'm like, if this is really going to be a lock and this is going to be a salary deal, I need to move to Tampa. And that was the scariest moment of my life, to think that I'm going to move out of a city that I've lived in for 20 years. But but I finally got the guts to do it because they gave me the number that I wanted as an annual salary for the position that I was going to be filling. And they met the needs, and I made the move last January. And moving to a new city, I didn't want to buy right away. So I rented a nice spot, a spot I'm in right now. A little tutu, just big enough for me and my dog. I have a 80-pound pit bull named Zeus, and he's like the love of my life. Yeah, I'm a pit mom for sure. So we stuck it out here in Tampa for a year, and my lease was up, and I'm like, I don't want to go. Like, this is a great city. The sports coming out the nose out here. I mean, I had an opportunity to talk to Tom Brady this season before he retired. Like, I could go happy now because, you know, that was a big milestone for me. So I ended up, I'm so sorry about that. I ended up buying a property, and I'll be moving in after the renovations are done in the next coming weeks. And Tampa is going to be my full-time home. And I'm hoping that this journey, there's a lot of things in the work. I'm starting a radio show coming up in the next 2 months on WTMP. It'll be available on 4 different FM stations around the Tampa area. And the NSPN Tampa Bay TV is doing a journey into having a Roku channel. So that is something in the works as well. But yeah, Tampa is home, and I'm sorry I had to talk a lot, but I had to let you fill you guys in on the journey. But that's how I'm here today, and I have great aspirations ahead of me, so I'm not going to stop.
That's good. I mean, first of all, you came to Tampa at a good time where it was a great time to be in Tampa for sports. You know,
I went to the Super Bowl. Guys,
yeah,
I went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Chiefs Super Bowl, and I don't remember the walk home, but that's how close I live to the stadium. I'm 1.1 miles away from the stadium. So I'm like front and center, full action, NFL in my face. And it's been I'm loving it.
Yeah. I mean, at that time I was living right next to the stadium. I've since moved from that specific area a little more south, but yeah, you came at a good time. It's cool that you had all those experiences that quickly. You know, a lot of people are not as fortunate as you. So that grind and the attention to detail obviously has gone a long way. Yeah. Now, did you cheer? First of all, 2 things. Did you root for any kind of Tampa sports before you moved to Tampa? Or were you know,
okay,
I've seen you bounce around with a lot of different teams. So I am curious to where
hold up. It's not bouncing around. I'm a fan of the game.
Okay.
And I enjoy what we see unfold on the field. And I'm just a fan of the game. Like, I have my favorite teams, but I'm not the type of person that I'll watch just one team throughout their season. I'm literally NFL Sunday. I have 3 TVs and my computer set up, and I'm watching all the 1:00 games simultaneously. So I'm like that obsessed. So I do have my favorites, my diehards, the ones that I remember following the most. I guess it always comes down to the team you know the most history about. Right. You know, I feel like I've been riding for them so long that I got to keep sticking this out because I know so much. I don't want that information to go to waste. But so my sister went to FSU. And she graduated the class before Jameis Winston. And obviously with Jameis Winston winning the national championship and us being in Tallahassee at the time when that happened, it was a lot of hype around Jameis. So obviously being drafted number 1 overall first pick by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I'm like, all right, let me ease on over here to see what they got going on. But throughout his tenure in Tampa, it was blatantly obvious that we had to make a change. And I mean, it was a change for the better. Who knew,
right? Like, who woke up that was a random like Tuesday morning, like, oh, by the way, number 12, Tom wants to be in Tampa. I'm like, Tampa?
I really thought he was going to go to LA. Like, I kid you not, I was sold on him going to LA or San Francisco. I had no idea that he was going to come in this direction, but I think he's a smart guy. He definitely wanted to stay out of the AFC. He saw the opportunity to roll the NFC, you know, the whole conference on this side. So I think it was a smart move. I mean, all the Buccaneers had to do was eliminate turnovers, and Jameis Winston was turnover king. So you take him out with the same receivers, the same defense, and you plug Brady in, and then you add one of the greatest tight ends of all time in Rob Gronkowski in the same mix, and they've won so many championships together already.
Correct.
It was just Jason Light. I don't know if that opportunity just fell in his lap, but
it did.
I give him all the flowers, all the flowers.
Brady called
Yeah.
him. He called Brady.
Jason, Light did not call Brady. Brady called. Brady did want to go to the West Coast. He is a West Coast guy. He wanted to go to the 49ers, but they wanted to stay with Garoppolo, which is beyond me.
And that's a slap in his face already with the history that they have.
Huge slap, exactly. Huge slap in the face. But yeah, he came down. You know, it's still sunny. You know, Giselle's going to be happy in this weather. He brought his friend Gronk out of retirement. He brought AB, who was going through his situation, out of his troubles. He brought playoff Leonard Fournette. So, I mean, he brought, and then if you go back to the Super Bowl, all the people who scored touchdowns, Leonard Fournette, Gronk, and AB, like no original Buck scored, but it happens, right? You guys got your Super Bowl, but I want to know more about the Cowboys situation because, you know.
What do you want to know, my friend? I want to know. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Where did that come from?
Don't come press me. Oh, where did the fandom come from?
Where did that come from, and where are you guys going? And by the way, we still got to talk about the Super Bowl because you guys, the Cowboys. I've been listening to all this head coaching stuff and Dak. So, where did your fandom start, and then where do you think you see them going moving forward?
So the Dallas Cowboys won the Super Bowl the year I was born. Emmitt Smith was MVP. My dad was newly coming from Puerto Rico and coming to the East Coast. America's team, just kept getting shoved down his throat. So, coming from Puerto Rico, coming from the island where they don't have a football team, he was like, well, I gotta represent somebody. So I think that's where it started. At least that's what he told me. Okay. Rest in peace to my pops. But I just had to carry the torch, if you say. And my uncles are also Dallas Cowboys fans, and I mean, I saw the star my whole life until I moved to the Philadelphia area temporarily for a month or two. Yeah, I lived in a couple cities around Pennsylvania. That's where I'm originally from. I ended up in Orlando, Florida in 2001. And I moved from Orlando, Florida to the exact month 20 years later, which was mind-blowing to me.
I actually moved to Orlando in 2000. And then moved to Poinciana in 2001, which we had that connection. Yes. Being from Poinciana, which is random. You don't.
Yeah, super random.
People from Poinciana, but nowadays you do. But
do you get that reaction when you say that you're from Poinciana High School? People are like, ooh, every once in a while I get one of those, and I'm like, hey.
I went to Gateway.
I knew we were at F school when I went there, but hey.
I went to Gateway because I refused to go to that. No offense. Poinciana trash.
Oh, come on. You see?
I mean, I had the same reaction.
I'm the good cop over here. That's all I can say. I'm not throwing any shade anyway. So
but yeah, that's where the Cowboys fandom started. And it's been a long and bumpy road. And I was on this Tony Romo obsession that I feel like I was almost hypnotized for a long time. So he was like one of my favorite quarterbacks, like throughout my childhood to watch. I don't know why, because he never made things happen in the playoffs, and that's always disappointment when you make it to the playoffs and then you do nothing. So I think he had one playoff win the whole time that he was in Dallas. So
yeah.
So then when we jumped to Dak and he had 11 straight wins once he became the starter alongside Ezekiel Elliott, I was like, okay, we got this. Okay, we got a new QB. This is something good. And he's kind of had his ups and downs as well, but I'm glad that the Dallas Cowboys have him locked in, because that's one of the most vulnerable positions, if you say, in the NFL, because if you don't have a quarterback, you're not winning Super Bowls. It doesn't matter how good your defense is. If you don't have somebody that's able to put up points, then that's the only way you win games. So I think Dak Prescott was a good lock-in. I know that he had a little bit of a wobbly season. They had a couple impressive wins in the start of the season, but then they lost 4 out of 5 games in the last stretch, and that was super disappointing to watch.
Including a game that you went to.
Thanksgiving. Oh, don't even start, because we put 250 burgers on you guys this season, so I don't want to hear about that.
The last week of the season,
I don't want to hear it. You guys were
playing our third string.
Blah 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 blah.
It played our third string, and we have the same amount of playoff wins this year. So
yeah. Hey. So, and I think Ezekiel Elliott also kind of was rocky this season. You saw running back Tony Pollard kind of immersed in that, almost like a running back one throughout the season, because Zeke was also dealing with injury. But I'm not going to be too upset at Dak Prescott because he was coming off his first season off of injury. That was a gruesome, devastating season-ending injury. I mean, everybody felt that. Even people that hate the Cowboys were even reaching out to Dak Prescott, like, I can't believe this happened to him type thing. So I'm going to give him more time. We have him locked in for the next 4 seasons. So I'm on for the ride. I just want Dallas to win a Super Bowl before I'm 50. That would be great. So 22 years. They got 22 years to make it happen for me. So
I'm a Jets fan. I'm never going to see that moment. So
never say never. I'm telling you, a draft and a couple trades make a huge difference.
Never. It's the Jets, man. We give up. We're really bad, and ownership is bad, and we draft well, but then we just give up. That's
sometimes you want to tell the owners, like, sell the team. Just sell the team. I don't know what you're doing. It's been a mess for so long. The culture trickles from the top. Like, just sell the team, make your billions. But I think it's probably just like a power hype to be like, I own this franchise, and the NFL is one of the biggest corporations in the world. They make so much money. So I don't know. We'll see.
I always said that, like, they should host like fan town halls. Like, you pay $20 and you go in. But then I just like thought about this in my head, and it would just be like Parks and Rec all over again. They're just people screaming stupid things like trade the quarterback. Like, you pay $20 to jump in here and say that? He's only been here like half a season. Like, come on.
Maybe $100. Maybe $100.
Maybe 100. I don't something. So I'd go participate. I'd be like, yo, I got some really good ideas, and let's hear me out on all this shit. Let's not
bring your notepad.
Yeah, I got so much content for you, trust me. But that's an organization that needs a lot of help, and it's one I've been cursed with. My cousin, they were living in the Bronx, and I should have been a Giants fan, but he was gun-ho on Curtis Martin. He was like, Curtis Martin is the best thing since sliced bread, and that's my future right there. Stuck with that team. I got to see 2 AFC championship games, both losses, but it's been a fun ride since. So,
and in case you guys were wondering, this Super Bowl parade behind me is when the Philadelphia Eagles won a Super Bowl in my lifetime that I actually was able to see. We actually beat Tom Brady to get that Super Bowl, in case you guys were wondering. The Jets fans couldn't handle him for 20 years. And then the Bucks were like, okay, we got to go get him then. And so, just so y'all know,
we got to get him. He called the Bucks. Let's get it straight. He called the Bucks. Jason Litt was fumbling around with his papers at his desk, and a phone call said T. Brady, and he was like, I need to pick this up.
No. It said block number.
Yeah,
unknown number.
Unknown number. Yeah.
For sure. Who's this?
Exactly. All right, so I got a question for you too. So, obviously, sports journalism is something you decided to pursue, and you went on and told us everything in your intro about how your drive and ambition got you here to Tampa and all the moves you made, the podcast, the TV shows, all that. You're Mrs. Multimedia in my eyes, and I think it's super
Thank you. I'm trying. I'm thinking about making a TikTok. What do you guys think?
What is it? What does a TikTok entail? Like, what I don't know.
Whatever. I make like funny sports clips, or I don't know, jump on and do some highlights about the game. I just don't know how to use it. That app is so like the filters all the time. It's just too much. I can't.
Well, I mean, to me, it's useful because there's a certain genre of people who want to find their sports news via TikTok. Some people use Twitter, some people use Sports Center, and some people honestly use Snapchat and TikTok for their sports talk. So
it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. We're just not TikTok inclined. So on the TikTok, if we do it, it's going to be KK running it, not me, because I'm not.
I need a tutorial. I need a tutorial.
Sign me up for this tutorial.
So my question for you is, who are your idols in sports media? Like, do you have any specific idols that you look up to and say, wow, those are the people that I aspire to be like while doing all of this?
All right. So Carrie Champion is amazing. Coast to Coast was one of my favorite shows to watch back in the day. I mean, I don't think it's been too long since her show has been off the air, but she's somebody that definitely caught my attention, somebody I admired somebody who I wanted to mimic in a way. I just loved her style, the way that she kind of owned it, and her independence of sitting at the desk and like carrying the load on her own. That was really admirable. Doris Burke, I mean, hello, this woman is the first woman to ever call an NBA championship game. Like, she's just been such a rock for women in sports media for a very long time, and she's earned her flowers. She's earned the crown. So she's definitely up there in my tops. Kay Adams on Good Morning Football, I think she is absolutely adorable. Okay, give me a call. She carries her own at a desk of 3 other guys, and I totally admire that, because I see that in myself, because I have a lot of dude friends, because I play a lot of sports and I'm like really active in all that. And I just feel like having a conversation with guys is way easier than having conversations with girls.
Very true.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are so easy, like basketball, football. We could talk about all that. Like, let's paintball, do things, out of the ordinary. Let's go to the shooting range, like that kind of thing. So yeah, Kay Adams, the way she holds it down, I just feel like I do that with my friends all the time, that we could have a conversation about sports. That's kind of what enticed me to do podcasting, because I'm like, I do that on the regular anyway, so why don't I just put it somewhere where people could see it, and if they like it and it sticks, like, good for me, so Kay Adams for sure. Mina Kimes, my guys, I can go on for days. Like, I love them all. Like, I really, Mina
Kimes is the same way they were just describing Kay Adams. Like, she holds her own, and like, and a lot of people, and I feel like she gets a lot of shade, and a lot of the excuses, she doesn't play the sport, so she shouldn't act like jealousy. She knows more than she does. But I'm like, hey, if she's confident enough to say what she says and own up to when she might say things that are like off the wall, then like, let her be. Like, this is already such a tough industry for women to be in, because it's male dominated. Like, guys, we get harassed really bad. A lot of people will look at us as if we're just a pretty girl on a screen and not somebody that they can take seriously. And I want to live this journey into putting a stamp on who I am and holding myself down and not needing to take easy cuts to get where I want to be. I want to go the hard way. Like, I want to go the hard way. I want to, pave the path for the younger generation to come after me. So yeah, you're well on your way.
Thank you.
I agree 100%.
I think a lot of this is confidence when it comes to speaking on a subject that a lot of people have different opinions on. So I think that's something that people need to keep in mind when it comes to pursuing something like this, because you got to back up what you say, and you got to be like, put a stamp on it. You can't come in weak. You can't come in timid. You just gotta, you gotta slam it down on the table. So yeah, but yeah, that was a great question. There's a lot of women in sports media that own it, and I look up to every day. I watch ESPN and FS1 all day long. That's the only thing on my TV. I don't really, mess with sitcoms and watching. I did watch Ozark, which was pretty interesting. I love that on Netflix, but I don't have a Netflix account. I don't really do any of that. I literally have the NBA League Pass on my phone, and there's like 9 games on tonight. The Golden State Warriors are taking on the Nuggets in Golden State, so that's why I'm repping my blue and yellow. But yeah, that's kind of my thing.
That's cool. All right. Obviously, we've been talking about quarterbacks and talking about all these defenses and everything. There was a big game this past weekend. I'm assuming you guys watched some football on Sunday. I don't know. For me, it's a national holiday, so I definitely was.
Absolutely. Nobody should have to go to work. I think in Cincinnati, they had all, wasn't it that the city of Cincinnati wasn't, they were closing schools?
Schools were closed Monday.
Yeah, I heard that. I was
that
like,
to me is a common sense thing to do. Like, no offense to President's Day, but what the hell is President's Day? So to me, the day after the Super Bowl is a little bit more than the President's Day. Which
yeah, but then you got to worry about all the families that have young kids that maybe they have to go to work. And then if you're closing down schools and people are unexpectedly having to figure out what to do with their kids. I mean, I don't know anything about that problem. I feel bad for those who do. Just kidding. But yeah, I mean, that's got to be tough to tell the whole city, like, hey, everybody's kids are staying home from school. You guys got to figure it out.
But if they know ahead of time, like in September, that this
they should close down. They should close down jobs and tell everybody
close down the banks and close down schools. Just make it simple. I don't know. That's just me. I don't know. But
you ask the
super big game.
Big game.
If you ask the Rams GM, he say fuck them kids and fuck them picks too.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys saw any of that parade today. First of all, in case you guys didn't know,
I didn't catch any of the parades.
The Rams won the Super Bowl, in case you guys were wondering. Two things I just took away just really quickly before we get to the actual game. Aaron Donald is strong, like extremely fit and cut and strong, and it makes me question myself. I'm like, man,
what do you mean question yourself?
I need to lift heavier and eat nothing but fiber and peanut butter, and that's it. I don't know. It's just and water. That's it. Just fiber, protein, and water. That's gonna be my diet. Oh yeah, we got the water here. But so that was one thing, and two, I was trying to figure out who was more intoxicated between Tom Brady and Matt Stafford, because I don't know if you heard Matthew Stafford, but Matthew Stafford was loose as a goose on some
F-bombs and S-bombs everywhere.
No,
he was on that 1942.
On that
1942 Don Julio. Yeah, he was loose as a goose. And
Tom Brady Julio gets you though. So I've been there.
Tom Brady tweeted him, mix it with water. Trust me.
So mix the avocado tequila with water. I also participate in that boat parade, and honestly, I think Tampa is gonna continuously have boat parades to celebrate the championships all around the city. They did it for the Stanley Cup when the Lightning won back-to-back seasons, and it looks like they're on the trajectory to do it again. Can you imagine three championships in a row? Like Tampa Bay all the way. But they need to make boat parties a permanent thing. And if June 2nd or whenever the date is rolls around and it's official that Tom Brady is retiring, we should do a boat parade. Mayor,
for Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Tom Brady has as many Super Bowls as Brad Johnson for the Bucks, at least. I mean, I don't know. What did I miss? He got one Super Bowl here. Not like
I'm telling you, the love for Brady in this city is astronomical. Like everybody is obsessed with the guy.
It's like moths to a light.
Because him being in the AFC for the New England Patriots, we never really had to deal. The Buccaneers didn't have to deal with Brady as much and him be such a thorn in their side. But so now that he's turned a corner and he's on our side, we're like, he's our Brady. Did you not see that Brady did not even mention the New England Patriots and his whole entire 5-page flipping?
We're going to talk about pettiness. We're going to talk about pettiness at the end of the show.
That's mine then. That's mine.
That was a next level petty post.
20 years of my life, I had to see this man just raw dog my team every week in and out. Okay. So when he gets a chance to leave, I'm like, oh my God, he's leaving. This is great. And I have all my friends who are sad Buccaneers fans who they're like the Jews in the desert wandering for millions of years. We're going to go into the promised land and it's never going to happen. And I'm thinking this guy's going out west. I'm sat home sipping my tequila, having a great weekend. And then I hear Tom Brady signs with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm like, oh my God. Now he's got to come in the city that I live in. The man who's on my top 3 people I hate in this world, I got to have him in my city. Listen, I can't stand the man. I hate him with every bone in my body. However, I respect his game. I have said he's the GOAT. I will say that. And I think when he came to Tampa, it did do a lot for him. It let him open up and be more fun. And he was definitely a lot more fun here.
Yeah.
But
the Heat will do that to you.
I like this Tom.
The Heat loosens you up,
I like this Tom too, but I think Tampa fans he was just a girl you dated for a year, and then she moved on, man, or a guy you dated. He moved on, man.
It's the one that it's the one that got away.
He's the one that got away. He's 45 years old. Can we leave that man alone and let him enjoy retirement with his family and kids? My God.
Yeah.
There's a lot of speculation on whether or not he's really going to pull the plug. So I don't know. We'll see.
I got Giselle's phone number on speed dial. He's staying retired.
Giselle ain't letting this happen. Giselle's
She's not letting that man go back and get another concussion. I promise you that.
Yeah.
But different quarterbacks. So you were just actually funny enough. You were talking about Dak Prescott. You know how he broke his leg and had a rough year. Well, Joe Burrow obviously tore his ACL last year, and he came back. He made it to the Super Bowl, and then Matthew Stafford spent 12 years in lowly Detroit hell, the worst possible place you can be at in the NFL. 1 year, and he's a Super Bowl champ. So, for you, Ruth, what was like your biggest takeaway between those two storylines and just with the game in general?
I think that all GMs and owners of teams need to look at what the Buccaneers and what the Rams just did. They obviously saw that their team was competitive as hell, making playoff runs, had a defense to support, because defense kind of wins championships. It comes down to whatever defense is taking away the ball and capitalizing on that. So I think everybody in the NFL is peeping the formula that has been created. And I think Matthew Stafford deserved the ring after spending 12 years. I mean, he was loyal.
Yeah.
The man was getting killed.
Yeah.
And he was loyal. I mean, when you see all these prima donnas, I mean, we're talking about a first round draft pick, guys. 2009, first overall draft pick from the University of Georgia, goes to Detroit because obviously it's always the worst teams that pick up the first overall. That's how it works. And it's just, he stuck it out for 12 seasons, and he fought through injuries. He gave me a lot of Brett Favre's vibes. But obviously Brett Favre was in a way better situation. So he was winning Super Bowls and winning games and having great regular season runs and postseason runs. But I think the guy really deserved this opportunity to have the weapons around him, to have the offensive line to protect him, to have the head coach and organization behind him. The Rams gave up a lot. I mean, we're talking about 2 first-round draft picks, 1 in the 3rd round, and Jared Goff. They just shipped all that in a pretty little package and sent it to Detroit to bring back Matthew Stafford. If that doesn't say we got your back, then I don't know what does.
Yeah.
So I think Matthew Stafford really concreted this season and was like, I'm putting this team on my back and I'm carrying them all the way to the motherland, and he made it. So congratulations to Matthew Stafford. Shout out to his wife, Kelly, that's been through a lot of medical, ups and downs in her health. And it was great to see his family and his 4 girls on the field and their interactions. Like, Dad's a champion, and they knew it, and they knew that he worked hard to get there. So I'm really glad. I called the Rams winning the Super Bowl. I knew it was going to be a damn good game, because, I mean, when you look at Joe Burrow and what he's been able to accomplish in his college years, and then coming in, getting hurt, but then having an outstanding season, beating the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, great storyline. But Matthew Stafford, it was your time. Joe Burrow, we're going to see you again. That's not going to be the last time we're seeing him in that situation. He has a bright future ahead, and he could take hits. So I think there has to be a lot of emphasis on that O-line. We'll get into that later, but the Bengals definitely need to make some changes because they see what they have in front of them in Joe Burrow. So, but yeah, congratulations to Matthew Stafford, 23-20 win over Cincinnati.
And to piggyback off of that, last week, because I was talking about storylines and parallels, last week when we did the show, I took us down a path of 2 potential parallels that we were seeing. Parallel number 1 was the Joe Burrow situation, where everyone started to already compare him to Tom Brady. The year 2 going against the Rams, just like Tom Brady did. Year 2 going against the Rams, got his first Super Bowl when no one expected it. And everyone's kind of just following that wave. And I said, yes, that could be a wave. But the parallel that made more sense to me was basically what you just said, was what Tom Brady did for the Bucs last year is what Stafford did for the Rams this year. Go get you your quarterback. Bring somebody out of retirement. They brought Eric Weddle out of retirement. The Bucs brought Gronk out of retirement. Go get you the quote unquote diva receiver, Antonio Brown, OBJ, and then just make sure your defense is shored up. And
they also went and picked up Sony Michel.
Yeah, and get a running back. Leonard Fournette last year.
Which is it's almost exactly what the Bucs did.
Carbon copy.
With the addition of Von Miller, which I don't know if we picked up a defensive lineman.
They didn't I don't. They were already there.
You did. You got McClendon from us, so you're welcome.
Thank you.
So, like, to me, that parallel made a little bit more sense to me. That I figured I had the game being a lot more lopsided. I think it would have been a blowout had OBJ not gotten hurt. Because I actually predicted that the Bengals would only score 20 points. I was right about that. I had it 30. Wow. I had it 33-20 though. The score was 23-20. So if I did like boxes or whatever, and I had 0 and 3, it would have been fantastic. I would have been rich. But long story short, I think you know how like when LeBron made the decision to go to Miami like 12 years ago, and everyone was, oh my God, this is going to change basketball forever. And now you see everyone's just trying to team up, and that's been the champions as of late. Is you got to go acquire somebody big to make that happen. I think Tom Brady was the equivalent of that. Like, look, if your team is a quarterback away, go get the damn quarterback. Who cares about draft picks? Who cares about luxury tax? Who cares about all the extra stuff? If you have a team ready to go get your quarterback. That's just so with Tom Brady and Stafford doing that back-to-back years, I feel like obviously we're still going to have Mahomes and Josh Allen, and we're going to have Joe Burrow, even though the last 16 quarterbacks who debuted in the Super Bowl and lost have not made it back to the Super Bowl, which
isn't that crazy? And there's some crazy big names. There's big names on this list. Donovan McNabb included.
I know. I know. So, and I
had to just rub that one in.
We have won a Super Bowl since in the last 25 years. I'm like,
right.
Anyway, I would not be surprised if Joe Burrow.
Petty.
Yeah, it's petty. This is the Petty Podcast. So I would not be surprised if Joe Burrow doesn't make it back to the Super Bowl ever again. Because as great as he is, that's how great Dan Marino was. And Dan Marino made it to 1 and never came back.
Well, I just hope that he doesn't stick around for a losing situation. Like, he knows his talents. I just take that confidence somewhere else if you have to. Like, don't waste your whole entire you don't do it, especially if your O-line is not getting any better. Don't waste your body. Like, you only have one.
And he's the next Andrew Luck.
Yeah, I think
right, like put him in retirement like 10 years before anybody saw it coming. Like, what the heck?
Yeah, his body got beat. So did Joe Burrow. Zero even sacked like 70 times in a 2-year span.
This year alone.
I think it was 61 in the regular
season and the playoffs. He's been sacked 70 times. What kind of crap is that?
Yeah, I think
7 sacks in the Super Bowl. How do you expect to win? How do you expect to put up points? Like, it's not going to happen.
I think Cincinnati's intriguing, though. I think like it's going to be a place that players want to play. And if me and KK always say this, like, you know, when it comes down to a team and you want to win, go get the pieces you need. The Green Bay Packers did it when they won their Super Bowl. They had everything complete, but they didn't have a guy on the left side. And they needed a cornerback, so they went and got Charles Woodson. The rest is history right there. The Patriots, everything was clicking for them. They told my boy Darrelle Revis, yeah, come on over for 1 year, 13 mil. Yeah, we got you, man. Shut down corner on both sides. Easy Super Bowl win there. And now it's just become the norm that, hey, I don't want to be here anymore. Buy me out, and I'm going to go to a contender. So if those guys are getting bought out, go get those pieces you need. And with Matthew Stafford, I guarantee you, Detroit was just like, dude, we love you. It's like the Dame Lillard situation. It's like, we love you. We just can't do anything for you. Like, this is purgatory. Why do you want to be here? We don't even want to be here.
Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, it's like, we want you to
start questioning his sanity.
And it's beautiful to see the city of Detroit embracing him, like he's still like on the team. Like, they're super happy for him. The Detroit Rams or it's great to see it. So that's a team that did right by their guy. And in return, they got a good package back for him. Jared Goff's no slouch, even though he's on the Rams now. He's on the Lions now. He took the Rams to the Super Bowl, so he was there. So we have to give him
3 points. Really?
3 points. I know.
3 points. Let's not go there.
Bill Belichick.
I'm not saying it's anything I want, but I'm saying at least he's gone there. So is Jimmy Garoppolo, for God's sake. So I mean, you gotta look at that. So. Right. And I think Cincinnati now is very intriguing because Joe Burrow is cool, calm, collective, and seems like the type of guy you want to play with. I mean, they just showed like audio footage of him introducing himself to everybody on the Super Bowl. Hi, I'm Joe. Hey, Vaughn, what's up? Vaughn, what's up? I'm Joe. Eric, hey, man, I used to watch you when I was a kid, man. Like, he's just a down-to-earth guy. Mm-hmm. He's a good leader. He's got the swag. It's like they've given Joe Burrow the juice, and he doesn't want it. It's like, you got the juice now. And Joe's just like, okay. and he's just going out there and performing. And whenever I say I think he's just a little bit overrated, he proves me wrong. So all year, I remember we were against the Bengals when they were doing well. We're like, what is wrong with them? They're just too young. They don't have an O-line. Well, they didn't have an O-line, but they are still too young. And I think when you get some veteran leadership there, they're going to be just fine, and they're going to be competing. They're going to leapfrog the Browns, I think is what's going to happen.
Yeah, they will. I think they'll leapfrog the Browns.
The Browns are imploding slowly.
But as you were just saying, and Ruth, you were saying it as well, because we're going to talk about it. Because what I was saying from the summer was that offensive line. Like we did a breakdown of every single team. We previewed what their record was going to be and everything. And I said the biggest thing that I have with the Bengals is they have a horrible offensive line. Mm-hmm. So the simple fact that they even made it to the Super Bowl, I mean, God, making it to the playoffs is one thing. The simple fact that they made it to the Super Bowl with that offensive line, being sacked 9 times by the Titans, being sacked 7 times by in this game just here. I mean, just being chased around. I mean, his knee folded up again and he was screaming in pain. I was like, man,
you saw his beautiful girlfriend on the sideline, or not the sideline, but in the stands with his mom and dad, and her face was like, I would have been freaking if I was her. She's beautiful, by the way. Go, Joe. Go, Joe.
Okay, Joe. Cool, Joe.
Okay, Joe. You like the Latina girls. I see that.
Wait, where's he from? He's from Ohio. I didn't know.
Yeah, he's from Ohio. He's from a small city about 45 minutes, I believe, south of Cincinnati.
Okay.
So I think
local kid.
Yeah, he got drafted there, but he wanted to be there and bring on Jamar Chase, who he already played with. Like, why not? I mean,
that was his choice.
Yeah, they're a very young team, but I think what really helps when it comes to the lack of the offensive line is you got this young talent that's going to get open quick. They're going to move fast. Like Jamar Chase, Joe Nixon, they're going to get open. So they know that you don't have a lot of time. And I think that's what really kind of saved their offense this season. And then they added 7 new defensive players to the Cincinnati Bengals roster since the last 2 seasons. So they have 7 new starters from the last 2 seasons. And I mean, if you could help your offense out by making sure that your opposing team is not putting up points, you're making a difference. And I think that's what really held them in this Super Bowl game against the Rams. But unfortunately, it didn't swing in their way. But 3 points, I mean, that was close.
Yeah, but that drive, you talking about some key moments in that game. That drive with Matthew Stafford, with Cooper Kupp. I mean, literally, it was Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp. That was it. That was all they had to muster up in that last drive.
Yeah, what do you think Tampa had to deal with? Exactly that. The Stafford Cooper Kupp effect. It was late in the fourth, like it's unstoppable. Like the guy is always going to be open. He just has to toss it up. Literally just toss it up and Cooper Kupp is coming down with the ball. So
and we were making fun.
In Tampa Bay secondary, all they know how to do is tackle. That's it. So like, oh, the guy got the ball. I'll tackle him.
No, I will say, because I have listened to other receivers. Receivers actually have a lot of respect for the Tampa secondary. But when you Cooper Kupp, like in that Tampa game, the fact that he was able to get open those 2 times, we were all blaming, why did they call that defense? Why they call that blitz? I think it was more so that's just how great Cooper Kupp is. Like it's just I think
separation.
Triple crown king.
Yeah, like at some point, like I'm like, why? That's why I wanted Aaron Donald to win that Super Bowl MVP. But I wanted him to win it, but Cooper Kupp deserved it because, in my opinion, the MVP of the season is a quarterback award, and they always give it to Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, this, that, and the third. And I always feel like the receivers and running backs don't get a fair shot of winning MVP during the regular season.
I'm glad you bring that up.
So when they have it,
Cooper Kupp was the only other player in the NFL that received MVP votes up against Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. So that says it alone.
It says everything. And he had Jerry Rice kind of season. And I remember earlier on the season, I'm trying to think who he reminded me of. And it's like blasphemous to say, oh, he reminds me of Jerry Rice, because Jerry Rice is either the greatest or second greatest receiver of all time, depending on who you ask. But I'm like, the thing about Cooper, they're similar in size, similar in stature, similar in speed. They're not both very fast guys, but their ability to get open is next level. And that's the thing about Cooper Kupp in that last drive in the Bucs game. 49ers, whoever it was, whenever Matthew Stafford needed to make a play, especially with OBJ being out, Higbee being out, you throw into number 18. I don't even know how to say his last name, Skoranek.
Sound like an IKEA.
Skoranek. Oh my gosh, he was slipping up big. I mean, they really needed wide receiver to step up after OBJ went down, and he literally just was like, here you go, like gave him the ball. And it's just like, dude, you had your opportunity to put a stamp on this game and you dropped the ball.
Exactly. And I've seen Tom Brady do this before, like when the rubber needs to meet the road, and in all these big playoff games, it was Edelman or Gronk. And that was it. Most of the time it was Gronk, but at the end of the day, when you know you have to get the ball to somebody, even the defense knows it's going to go to that guy and you can't stop that person. That's a special player. And that no-look pass that he had to Cooper Kupp, oh my God, that was beautiful. So my appreciation for Cooper Kupp is like through the roof right now. I'm super proud of him.
Yes.
Yeah, I got a lot of respect for Cooper Kupp too, man. But I'm a defensive guy, so I really, if you look at that game at the end, the two pivotal plays was that the Bengals fucked up. Like, you're in the Super Bowl, you don't let Samaje Perine run the ball, because I single-handedly watch a man grab him by the back of his shirt in forward progression and pull him back 5 other yards. So
it was like Mortal Kombat. Come over here.
Aaron Donald did that, pulled his soul from his backside. Yeah. And then when they lined up on that other 4th and 1, I called it. I felt like I was Sean McVay in that moment. I was like, he's going to get a sack right here. He's definitely going to get a sack. And dude is just monstrous, man. He's a force to be reckoned with. And
Cincinnati kind of stirred the pot late in the third quarter when Aaron Donald got into that little tuffle on the sideline after he extremely aggressively like shoved Joe Burrow into the sideline.
Not that aggressive.
Not aggressive. He was
Joe Burrow do you know how strong Aaron Donald is? That was just a light tap. It could have been worse.
Oh, I mean, I thought it was pretty bad. And then for Burrow to run on 4th and 1 and slide in like that, like nothing ever happened. I love that. He's got heart.
But one person I will not piss off is Aaron Donald, and that's what woke up the beast. That is the Bengals' fault
that's what I'm saying. They slipped up.
Why are you coming for this man? Like
they poked the bear.
Exactly.
Dude's a monster. He's my favorite defensive player right now. So
yeah,
I'm happy he got his.
So
ring.
Is he retiring, gentlemen? Because I mean, he's only in his early 30s. He's still got a lot of, but there's been buzz and conversation about him calling it. He's like, I got my ring. This is what I wanted. I've been to the Super Bowl twice.
Pay him. That's all. Just give him the most money that you can give him.
Ever.
I don't know. It's like, it's so simple. Pay McVay and pay Aaron Donald. Stafford already has his contract. Kupp already has his contract. I don't know what you're gonna do with OBJ with his injury, but
I know. I feel so bad.
I know it's so bad. But Aaron Donald.
Can I just say real quick? I'm an OBJ fan now, okay? I'm an
finally.
OBJ
Ruth, okay? Let me tell you, this man comes on this show weekly and trashes OBJ's name, and I've made him apologize. Yeah, I've had to make him apologize now, and now he's finally came to my side.
I'm happy. I'm happy because he's actually not being a prima donna and playing the game he loves. And when he's playing I didn't have a problem with him like the first couple seasons in New York. I was just mad the Jets didn't draft him, but other than that, that's just my own pettiness right there. This is the petty podcast now. So, but yeah, man, he just became a cancerous organization or self to the locker room everywhere he went. And it just I thought when he went to Cleveland, this was going to be the turning point for him. But we all know Baker Mayfield isn't the greatest quarterback around there.
Trash. And
had to kind of force his way on out. And it was just kind of kind of crappy. But I'm happy he's rejuvenated. I'm happy he's got his ring. I really felt bad when he tore his ACL. I saw that play and the way he moved. I was like, man.
I was like, yeah, that's an ACL.
Yeah, that's a no.
And the first question I asked to everybody,
it was a no contact injury. Nobody touched him. I was like, what happened? I asked
was, is this turf? And they're like, yeah, it's turf. I'm like, yeah, it's an ACL. Because I actually did a paper last year about the increase on non-contact lower extremity injuries compared due to turf field compared to grass. I literally wrote this paper last year. And I'm like, guys, this is a serious thing. And now you're seeing it in the grandest stage, brand new stadium, and it still got him. So that part definitely sucks. But I think the reason why he's more mature, he found somebody that he loved and they're having a baby. It's that simple. Once you find love,
become a girl dad.
Once you find love and you have a kid on the way, you settle down.
And he's playing at a high level pace where he's featured in an offense, as opposed to being fizzled out.
So and he's in LA where he's wanted to be for years. Like word on the street, he wanted to be in LA 4 years ago. So
running the streets of LA.
I'm happy. I'm happy for him, man. And Von Miller's like my other favorite defensive player. So I'm happy Von gets another one.
Yeah, but to answer your question, I don't think they're retiring. I don't think he's retiring. I think they're gonna give it one more year. They were at the parade talking about it today, but they were all drunk and one more year. But I think if they just give him one more big contract deal, because I think he still has 2 or 3 years left on his deal. I think it's at $16 million a year. I think bump it up to 20, 22. He'll be happy. Like he's not gonna say no to that. So. But football is a grind. I mean, he's what is he? 8 years he's 8 years into his career. He's 30 now. But playing defensive tackle, it's a car accident every single possession. He's getting double team and triple team for the last 8 years, and with all those double teams and triple teams, he still has 7 straight All Pros. 7 straight All Pros being double team and triple team. That to me, Lawrence Taylor, Reggie White, Aaron Donald, same conversation. That's Mount Rushmore of defense right there. So
yeah, I mean, 30 years old is not, we just saw Brady retire at 44. So give it another year.
He's not normal.
They keep the same. Yeah, if they keep the same, oh, trust me, he's not. The whole aura that comes off this man when he walks into a room is intense. But yeah, give it one more shot. If they can keep the team together, you have a great head coach in Sean McVay. Like, give it a go. But see if you can go back to back. My
question for the two of you now, speaking of people's legacies, because this has been like a debate the last couple of days about Matthew Stafford and Hall of Fame talk all of a sudden. What did you guys see what Richard Sherman said?
Yes. And I get it, Richard. I really understand your point, Sherman. I really do. I hear you out, coach, because I think he's going to be a future coach in the league because the way he was able to assist on the sidelines for the Bucs this season was awesome.
Yeah,
great leadership.
Wearing street clothes all year.
I understand. I guess they could see it as him not wanting the Hall of Fame conversation to be dimmed. Like it's not a club for everybody is what he's trying to say. And he doesn't think that Stafford has done enough to be involved in the conversation of Hall of Fame due to the fact that he was in Detroit for 12 seasons. He didn't get a playoff wins. He didn't go all pro. He didn't go, I think he got one, maybe Matthew Stafford got one Pro Bowl after he came to. Yeah. So I understand the conversation, but he was the number 1 draft pick. Okay. He didn't want to get sent to the Lions, but he did. That was his situation. That was his bed. He had to lay in it. But to be the quickest quarterback to make it to 40,000 passing yards, I think speaks volume. To come to a team that has some relevance and to win a Super Bowl in your very first year, I think that has some relevance. So as much as I want to respect what Richard Sherman says, I think Stafford is going to be in the Hall of Fame talk. And hey, he's not retiring. He's got years to come. So he's got maybe more rings to stack up. Who knows? But obviously being in LA is a great situation for him. He's always going to be in conversations for the Pro Bowl with the next coming seasons for sure.
Hey, Rod.
I mean, I got one minor argument to Sherman is Megatron in the Hall of Fame?
First ballot.
Who was throwing to him his entire career?
Ooh.
No, seriously, that is
mic drop.
That is the funny thing about what you literally, because me and A-Rod, we think alike about a lot of different things. The whole time we put this on the page a couple weeks ago, and I was like, the greatest wide receiver seasons of all time were Calvin Johnson and Cooper Kupp, and both times it was Matthew Stafford throwing up the football. So he contributed to 2 of the greatest wide receiver seasons of all time. One of them is a first ballot Hall of Famer, and one of them, the way he's playing right now, is headed to be a first ballot Hall of Famer as well, if he can stay healthy, obviously. So just that alone, go back and look at those Detroit teams. Who else was there besides Calvin Johnson? People are going to say
running backs.
They've never had a running back.
No running backs.
They've had Kenny Galladay. We saw his first year with the Giants. He's garbage. Marvin Jones Jr., whatever. Who else was there? Like, I don't remember anybody.
Golden Tate.
Come on, Golden Tate.
Yeah, Golden Tate.
Golden Tate came to the Eagles. It was terrible.
Roy Williams.
Is he? He's with the Giants now, I think.
Yeah,
right?
And keep in mind, Matthew Stafford made them all look good because all of them in their second act are not as good as that first act in Detroit. Yeah. So understand that Detroit is a horrible football team and a horrible organization. Keep in mind, I'm from Detroit. Okay, I speak from first. I can see it with my own eyes. I'm not a Lions fan for a reason. It's a horrible organization. So, and to go to the Rams in your first year and contribute to the greatest wide receiver triple crown season of all time and win a Super Bowl, hats off to him. It is too early to have Hall of Fame conversation for somebody who's still playing, unless you're Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers or whatever. But he has a ring. He has a few more, like 3 or 4 more years, in my opinion, left in him. He'll probably eclipse 70,000 yards, and he'll basically be the Drew Brees, basically. You know how Drew Brees has all these numbers and only 1 Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Guys, Tom Brady is a rarity. Aaron Rodgers has 1 Super Bowl. Drew Brees has 1 Super Bowl. Peyton Manning has 2. Russell Wilson has 1. It's hard to win 7 Super Bowls, let alone 3. So for him to have 1, he's in the club. If he has 2, that would be fantastic. But I think we overblow all this other stuff too much. So
Richard, we'll just say to Sherman, okay, he might not be in the hotel, but at least let him be in the lobby. Yeah, he's about to check in. He's
valeted. He's valeting right now. He's waiting. He's like, here's my keys.
He's got his Bud Light. Frat Stafford's here, man.
He got his Frat Stafford book bag and Bud Light. He'll be there. But now done with the Rams really quickly, because I do want to get to some basketball really quickly.
Yes, for sure. I'm sorry that I talk a lot. So
no.
We're good. We love talking. Keep talking.
We can do this all day. But
yeah, me too. It's sick.
We all know. All right, we'll figure out what's up with Aaron Donald's career, if he's gonna stay in McVay. The Rams are in a weird place because they went all in and they won. So it's like, all right, what are we gonna do? Run it back? The Bucks tried to run it back. Obviously, it's hard. It's very hard to do. But what about the Bengals? Obviously, that's that. I just said earlier with the 16 straight quarterbacks and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
What's next for the Bengals right now? Obviously, we know the offensive line, but do we think they're going to be as successful as they were this year?
I believe so, only because of their division that they're in. It's really questionable what's going on with the Steelers. The Ravens took a kind of a Plymouth with all the injuries that they suffered this season, and the Browns are always just a huge question mark. So I think that with Joe Burrow at helm, if they could keep him healthy, I think they have a legitimate chance to be in the conversation of at least going deep for a playoff run every season consistently. They have a lot of young talent in Jamar Chase and Joe Mixon and company. I really think that they're a lock in to at least be in the conversation for a deep playoff run. And they also locked in Zach Taylor, the head coach, until I think 2026. So, they're looking towards the future. And I think there has to be huge emphasis on that offensive line. Now, I'm not saying it's easy to go find a 350-pounder that really knows how to stop an Aaron Donald and things like that. I'm not saying it's simple, but at least put some emphasis on it in this draft, in the coming free agencies, make some moves to help Burrow, because you don't want him going down again.
The Chiefs did it last year. Remember the whole emphasis with the Chiefs last year after JPP and Shaq Barrett and all these guys were in the back.
Because the Bucks wrote the blueprint of how to shut down, the offensive line and the Kansas City Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes. I think it was unfortunate that they had one of their right tackles go down the game before when they were in the AFC Championship game against Josh Allen and the Bills. It was really unfortunate that one of his best protection was not there. But the Buccaneers smelled blood in the water and they got it done. So they wrote that blueprint. I'm never going to say that. I'm never going to count the Chiefs out. I know early in the season when they were like 3-4 at one point, everybody was like, whoa, what's going on?
And me and A-Rod were like, they might just win every game for the rest of the year. Who knows? And then they went on an 8-game winning streak.
Right. So everybody was jumping off the wagon. I'm like, hey, you guys do know they have Patrick Mahomes, right? And Andy Reid, all about Andy Reid, obviously.
I love that guy.
He's well loved in the Philadelphia area. But Yeah, I didn't count the Chiefs out, but yeah, I believe the Bengals have an opportunity if they keep Joe Burrow healthy and standing and alive and with his legs intact, that they could be legitimate in the coming seasons.
I'm gonna keep it a buck real quick. So one thing that bothers me about Zach Taylor is every time the camera's on him, I never see him move his mouth. He's always just like,
isn't his mouth always open? Like,
yeah, he's always like, I never see him talk, but he's got to the Super Bowl, so I can't be mad at him. So that's a good move to keep your head coaches. Obviously, KK and I preach all the time the new model for the NFL, which is another model that just been in place. Just put together a team of what things that you need, and you can go to the Super Bowl. But
like Legos, just build your castle with your Lego pieces.
But starting off young coach, young quarterback, and grow from there. So that way you have chemistry going there. So that's obviously working there. They're definitely going to go, if they're stupid, like they shouldn't be, they're definitely going to go get some O-line guys. We all know they need that. They need to draft well. Just keep drafting LSU players. Just draft anything that comes out.
Yeah, LSU is just pumping out champions.
Seriously,
like
this game was.
And that used to be all Alabama, but now LSU is like, no, we got this. Hold my beer.
I'm all Bama still, but LSU is everything, and like they're the Tigers. Cincinnati are the Bengals, which are Tigers. Just keep it going.
Keep that funnel going.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing is that every team in the AFC North is intriguing except for Cleveland, since they're imploding internally. So
yeah,
all those teams are just very intriguing to go to. Who doesn't want to play for Mike Tomlin? Who doesn't want to go play with Lamar Jackson? I mean, Who doesn't want to go play in Cincinnati?
I'll tell you who doesn't want to play for Lamar Jackson, or at least somebody who's saying they want to play for Lamar Jackson. Antonio Brown. If you get picked up by anybody in the NFL, they need to be drug tested. They need to be drug tested. He's posting all these pictures. No. All
right,
guys.
Who is all right? Really quick.
Off his jersey.
Who is he hanging out? Who is he hanging out with?
Eddie.
Right? Who has AB been who has AB been hanging out with? Kanye West, right? Kanye West is.
Do you think I'm thinking free?
Kanye West is as insane as they come. Yet when his album drops, everyone goes to buy it, right? When he puts out a documentary, everyone goes to watch it.
Graduation was his best album. He
was on a McDonald's commercial for the Super Bowl. Kanye West is harassing his ex-wife, and he's on a commercial for the Super Bowl. At the end of the day, if you're talented, it outweighs everything. Trust me.
Antonio Brown watching the Super Bowl with that mask on, by the way.
He got hella holes. Can I get listen, all I'm saying, talent outweighs all of it. And if Lamar Jackson, your franchise quarterback, says, Tom Brady said, I want Antonio Brown. Nobody
froze his feet off.
Cryotherapy, sexual allegations.
Called the GM a cracker-ass cracker. My favorite.
That's the thing, though. Antonio Brown is just, and AB is just he's got some internal issues that it doesn't matter how good the organization, how well you treat him. You're obviously going to give him a deal that's going to be on based on incentives, and he made it crystal clear that he does not deserve to be on incentives because I'm Antonio Brown. I look at the stat sheet, look at the numbers, come on, dude.
Did he not help the Bucs win a Super Bowl? And,
yes.
And he has mental wealth.
Jason Light and whatever and Bruce Arians and the Glazer family, all they're going to see is that big old trophy in that case and that big ass ring from Tiffany. And that says Super Bowl champs 2021. That's all they're going to see. So at the end of the day, if you could get me a Super Bowl, I don't care if you killed somebody. Go get me a Super Bowl, and then once we're done with you, that's just how the NFL works. They will let the talent outweigh all the off-field issues, unless it's like a huge black eye, or if you kneel for the flag, then definitely you can't get back into the league. Outside of that, they'll let you back in the league, of course.
Do we want to put some money on this? Because I really don't think I really don't think this is happening, and if it's going to be a nightmare for me. That's all I got to say. I had the opportunity to interview Mark, big longtime Tampa fan. He was in the stadium, at MetLife, and he caught the gloves that Antonio Brown said, I don't want these anymore. They went on auction starting at $80. Okay. Do you want to know how much? Okay. When the hammer when the hammer hit the whatever, do you want to know how much they sold for?
Can I guess like Price is Right?
Yeah, go ahead. Oil spinning. Let's go.
This is the guy going up the mountain.
7,500.
7,500.
40K.
80,000. Oh, 25,000. 15,000.
$16,000.
For some dusty ass
some
gloves.
petty gloves. Somebody bought petty gloves for 16.
Oh, petty.
We got our name for this episode already, man.
Petty something.
I'm Petty and the Heartbreakers. That's what we call them.
That's wild. But yeah, you see, did you see what I mean? He threw his
also where
gloves to someone paid 16 grand
against the Jets, of course.
Against the Jets. I mean, you guys had to get some media coverage. Like somebody had to care about that game.
We didn't lose to Tom Brady. We lost to a track star that game. So
Cyril Grayson or whatever. Hey,
Surreal
Grayson. Hey, good for him, man. We never heard from him again.
He got hurt. Yeah,
this is what I expected. But hey, It's okay. It happens.
NBA talk?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys don't mind.
Wait, I got one more football thing. Okay,
one more.
I want from each of your perspective. What are the two biggest things you're looking forward to this offseason?
Two biggest things I'm looking forward to. Obviously, being a Dallas Cowboys fan, I want to see what they do in the draft. I want to see if Mike McCarthy is really going to be the future for the Dallas Cowboys, because I don't believe he is. I think Dan Quinn could fill that void really quick. What else? I am interested to see the moves of Rob Gronkowski, whether or not he's going to return based off of Brady's decisions of retirement. What else? I'm just looking forward to the game to be back. Like, I love the Super Bowl. It's so much fun, but the day after is like, I'm in bed, ice cream.
What do we do now?
I just broke up with my boyfriend. Yeah, so I'm ready for the season to be back. So let's get the draft going. Yeah, for sure.
All right, Rod.
Jets got 2 first-round picks. So I can't wait to watch us fuck that one up. I'm excited to see that, because those 2 kids will be here for 3 years, and then they're shipped to somewhere to win.
New England.
I'm curious to see what's going to happen in the saga in Green Bay. I honestly am thinking that they're going to retain Adams and Rodgers. If not, they're going as a package deal to another team, and I've been saying all year the Steelers. So I'm excited to see that, and I guess those are the 2 things that I'm really into, because I would always say Aaron Rodgers was a bad man, but just a bad man in the regular season now.
I would love to see. I'm also looking forward to see the replacement for Brady in Tampa. That's something that's really got my eyes open.
Jimmy G's the best they're gonna do. That's what I'm saying.
I think Kyler Murray would be a way better fit.
I don't think Kyler Murray is coming to Tampa. I think the Bucks have a better chance to get Deshaun Watson, actually, believe it or not.
Me too.
And I
don't want to be in that locker room.
Yeah, we're gonna have this conversation. We're gonna have this conversation if that happens. We're gonna bring it back on Ruth. If that happens, because I've been asking a lot of different women who are Bucks fans how they would feel if Deshaun Watson was the quarterback. I don't want to get into it right now. But
yeah, don't get me started.
I know. I'm very curious. I'm very curious.
Yeah, man. Like, don't know.
So obviously I'm curious about this whole quarterback carousel. We don't know who's going to be where. We don't know if Brady's going to come back. I mean, he might very well
come back, please.
So I'm curious to see what's up with him and Jimmy and Aaron and Deshaun and Russ and all these guys, to see where they kind of end up and who because at the end of the day, the Bucks won the Super Bowl, getting a quarterback. The Rams somebody is going to follow this blueprint and go all in. So
yeah, I think Russ ends in the Saints. That's all I'm saying.
To go Russ
in New Orleans. Huh?
Go play with who? Who's down there? There's nothing there anymore.
I mean, Alvin Kamara, Mike Thompson will be back, hopefully.
Sean Payton is gone. I'm not going to play for the Saints. I'm done. If I'm a quarterback without Sean Payton, I have no business going down there.
Yeah. That was a big surprise. Sean Payton pulling out of the end of his or not renewing his contract with the Saints. But
I just saw him on an interview the other day. He already looks 20 years younger. I'm telling you, coaching ages you. It's like being the president.
I actually know that. I'm good friends with Ty Lue, and I met him right after they lost to the Golden State Warriors in the finals, and I'm telling you, like, The man had medical issues from the stress of the job. Like his doctor told him that he had to take 2 straight weeks off where he was not allowed anywhere close to the training facility. He had to just stay home and rest because he was not sleeping. I mean, you have LeBron James in your locker room. That's so much buzzing around that situation. And then that was the season where, is he going to come back to Cleveland? Is he going to leave? So like we would be walking the streets, right? You know, and everybody would just come up and be like, so is LeBron staying? Is LeBron staying? Like same question. And he just said, I don't know. I hope so. I don't know. I hope so. So it's like, yeah, the stress of a head coaching, that's why they get paid the big bucks, because they deal with a lot. You're in charge of 52 men as well as a plethora of coaching staff. So it's a lot on your shoulders.
Correct. So yeah, the coaching and quarterback carousel is going to be interesting to see how these new coaches do in their new spots. And as an Eagles fan, you know, we got 3 first-round picks. Are we going to trade it to go get a quarterback? I hope not. I actually don't think we need to go get a quarterback. We need to build up our roster. So, but we'll see, because we are looking at Russell Wilson as well, apparently. And I don't know how much he's going to help us right away, but hey, we're looking. So, curious about those things. But yeah, let's get to NBA, because it's now that football is over. Like for me, when the Super Bowl ends, I cry for like 30 seconds. Then I realize All-Star Weekend is right here, and the second half of the season is upon us. And as a Sixers fan, we got James Harden. So it's like we got rid of the problem.
But are you happy?
Okay, so
you're like riding a crazy wave.
I don't think his hammy is going to allow him to be.
His hammy is fine. Oh my God!
He's got as a hammy sandwich. That's what.
Don't listen to the media. All right, let me explain. All year long, we always do like these different stories and everything. And the one thing that's been bothering me all year is Ben Simmons. Like seriously, we did our New Year's resolutions on this show, and I said, I hope we figure out Ben Simmons ASAP. And Lord, behold, Daryl Morey and Elton Brand and all of these guys heard me. All right, let's get it done. And
you know what they heard? They didn't hear you. They heard James Harden say, I want to be a Sixer. And they said, what? All right, let's package. Let's go. Whatever we got. Like, and they packaged a sweet little deal.
When he left Houston, he wanted to come to Philly. But the problem was that Daryl Morey had just abandoned Houston and came to Philly. So Houston refused to deal with Philadelphia. Yeah, Houston refused to deal with Philadelphia directly. So they sent it to Brooklyn to piss off Daryl Morey. Well, it worked, and we had to give up more than we wanted to. I would prefer to have held on to Seth Curry. That's, to me, out of the whole trade, I don't give a damn about Andre Drummond, and I can care less about Ben Simmons now. We got a Hall of Famer back. I would have just hoped that we were able to retain Seth Curry. But outside of that, we got rid of the problem that's been hampering. It's like a dark cloud that's been removed, and sunshine.
It was like a tumor.
Yeah, basically.
It was a tumor, and it was going to spread. And as soon as, I mean, come on, we're going on like, 60 games in? And the guy is literally training at other facilities other than this. Like, it was a really toxic situation. I'm really surprised it lasted as long as it did. But I did think that Kyrie was going to get the vaccination before Ben Simmons was traded. So I definitely was wrong on that part. Kyrie is sticking in, he don't care.
Shout out to Kyrie for being so gung-ho on that. He don't care about his team. He don't care about nobody. He don't care about He said, look, this is my decision and I'm sticking to it. For him to be that, hey, he must be a faithful guy. So.
Yeah, but I will admit, I was surprised that Seth Curry was on the move. I mean, Doc Rivers is his father-in-law. Like, but you know what?
But Doc Rivers got rid of Austin Rivers before. Like, Doc Rivers traded his own son. Yeah. You don't think he cares about his son-in-law? He's just trying to win.
But I think Austin's in a good situation. I believe he's with Denver right now. So I think he's in a good situation right now.
Yeah, especially with Jamal Murray been out this long. He found himself into a very good situation. But
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so obviously the NBA is here. A-Rod, I don't know what's going on with the Knicks. You can talk about the Knicks.
Yo, all I can say is they suck, but you have to appreciate Julius Randle. Look at his numbers. He's been playing amazing. And right now, knock on wood, they're beating the Nets right now with no Kyrie because it's in the tri-state area. So you got Kyrie. But they're beating them right now. Last I looked, it was like 65-49, but he's got 20
right now it's 58-69 Knicks.
Yep, I got that score.
Slowly coming back now. So
I hope Brooklyn gets blown out every game for the rest of the season. Personally,
give me my time. Give me my time real quick.
Go ahead.
As a Knicks fan, they suck. Okay, they suck. That Bing Bong shit, it's done. Bing Bong is
Bing
done.
Bong.
It came, it conquered, and then it got conquered. So they are ass. I don't know what they got to do. I hope they don't like try and like dismantle this team because there's pieces that work. I just think we preach it all the time. Thibodeau runs your players knees into the ground. But all I can say for the 76ers is James Harden came out and rang that bell. Joel Embiid tried to do a James Harden 3-point shot, and they lost by 48 to Townie sports people over there, bro. So Townie was texting me the other night, and they were saying, hey, we want to come on the podcast and talk some sports. So I was like,
listen, I was like, look, if anybody text me about last night, call me about last night, I'm not responding. You texted me last night. And I purposely did not respond. I'm like, don't tag me, don't text me, don't call me, leave me alone. It's one game. I don't give a damn. Okay. I don't care. I hate that it happened because it was Boston. That's obviously personal, but I don't care, man. We're good. But anyway, Ruth, what intriguing trades or who do you root for? Like what got you buzzing right now in the
NBA? So I'm a Los Angeles Clippers fan. Obviously. Why? I fell in love with Doc Rivers and the run that he had with Boston when it was the big three, and he's absolutely an outstanding coach. And I loved Chris Paul when they had Blake Griffin, when they had Lou Williams as well. There was a lot of key pieces. There was a lot of my favorites on different positions in the NBA that I saw kind of reunite in LA as the Clippers. And so I became a Clippers fan, when Blake Griffin was doing his thing, when he was dunking over cars, all that crazy stuff. Yeah. So I kind of still have my heart in LA, but it's disappointing that we gave all this money to Kawhi and we've kind of limited ourselves to Kawhi Leonard, who is not most likely going to be available this season, which is a big blow to the heart because that's a superstar that is already a championship caliber player. I mean, he's won 2 national championships in the NBA, and that's a key piece that we're missing. But I mean, we beat the Golden State Warriors the other day. Why Klay Thompson was playing, why Steph Curry was in. So that was kind of a nice thing to see. And their game last night against the Phoenix Suns, they had a great run in the first half, keeping it a close game, but Devin Booker was unstoppable late in the third quarter. Chris Paul with 14 assists. He was just being crazy. It was like he was orchestrating everything, just throwing lob after lob after lob. Jamal Crawford, DeAndre Ayton, Devin Booker, just completely dominating late in the game, but they held their own. I think Reggie Jackson made a huge mistake late in that game with a really silly turnover with 3 minutes left that really could have been a change in pace in the game. But other than that, I think Clippers are heading in the right direction. They picked up Norman Powell, which was a great addition. They have Coffee now, Amari Coffee as well. They're looking on the upside. As long as we can get PG back, I think we can make a run in the West. I am disappointed at our center position. I think that sometimes we try to play small ball too much when giving Zubac a break. So that's something that needs to be corrected and hopefully could change before the postseason starts. But yeah, I mean, there was a lot of great trades. I mean, obviously the Ben Simmons situation that needed to happen. That was a wound that was busted right open and completely bleeding out. And there was nothing else that Daryl Morey could have done. I think James Harden made a great addition to the team. I mean, alongside Joel Embiid and their key pieces with Seth Curry as well. I think it's a really beautiful thing of what they did with that trade. I think they're both in great situations now. I think Brooklyn won the trade with the addition of Seth Curry is what I meant. I think he's a great shooter. I mean, great defender, way better of a defender than his brother is. And he can shoot the 3 ball almost just as nice. So great addition with Kevin Durant as well. Yeah, I mean, there was a season that he would have had a better 3-point average than his brother. So I mean, don't count out the other Curry. If
you look historically, statistically, I think Steve Kerr is number 1, and then Seth Curry is number 2. Actually, I think statistically, Seth Curry is a better. He's not obviously a better shooter than Steph, but he's more efficient than he is.
I believe he doesn't take as many chances as his brother. He's not shorting, shooting 3-pointers from 4 feet behind the 3-point line. Like his brother is doing crazy stuff. So but I give all the flowers to Seth Curry. I think he's in a good situation in Brooklyn alongside Kevin Durant. And I'm really interested to see how Ben Simmons is going to fit in that whole scheme of things. So
yeah, that fit. I mean, it's what they needed. It's what Brooklyn needed, honestly. They didn't need James Harden when they got him. When they got him, I was like, oh my God, they're going to blow out everybody because they don't need that kind of player. Because what they were going to be able to do was just outscore you, score 140 points, and that was going to be the recipe if all three of them could play and all three of them were healthy with Joe Harris, with all these other guys on the court. But now that they have a defensive-minded player in Ben Simmons. Like, one thing I will miss about Ben Simmons was the fact that he will play defense. He will help lock down your best player. So at the end of the day, and he's versatile because he's 6'10", playing point guard. So he's going to guard your point guard, or he could guard your power forward. He can guard your center. He will guard 1 through 5. So that part about Ben Simmons I will miss because James Harden, let's be honest, does not play defense. So we're going to miss that part. But I feel like as the Sixers, we're going to be able to hide him better because we have guys that play defense. Matisse Thybulle plays defense. Tobias Harris plays defense. Maxey's is an athletic point guard, so he'll play defense. And then when it all comes to shit, Joel Embiid is waiting behind you to protect the basket. So to me, that will help James Harden. I think that having Seth Curry and Drummond will help them with size. Because to me, you would be able to destroy Drummond. I mean, LaMarcus Aldridge before. Like, LaMarcus Aldridge is not athletic. Drummond's not athletic either.
He's getting old.
Yeah, he's old. But Drummond's not athletic either, but he's humongous. So
Patty Mills is also falling into his own in that starting lineup for the Brooklyn Nets as well. And that's been exciting to watch.
The only problem that I have is this
5 points tonight, knock on wood.
The inconsistency with Kyrie's situation. It sucks. It is what it is, though. I mean,
what are they going to do in the postseason when they go to a game 7 and your last game 7 is a home game and you're not going to play? You're not going to play in a game 7?
In that room with that shot like this, they're like, yo, bro, just take the damn thing.
I honestly believe that the city of New York or the state of New York, whatever it is, will eventually lift this mandate before all of this even happens. Because they're literally the last ones to the table that still has like this crazy, like even California, they have a Coachella in a couple months. They're not even going to be testing anybody anymore. No mask, no nothing.
Wow.
Remember the Super Bowl? Everybody was all nuts and butt, face to face, like no mask or anything. So if it's happening in California, it's definitely going to happen in New York. I think just give it a little bit of time. I think by April at the latest, he'll be allowed to play in home games. Yeah. The problem is that they only have, out of the next 26 games, they only have like 8 or 9 home games left or something. So, road games left. They have a lot of home games left. So he's going to miss a lot of games. And if Ben Simmons is not mentally ready to play yet and Kevin Durant's still hurt, they're going to continue to lose. I mean, they're getting their ass beat by the Knicks right now, which is
and they're in the 8th spot right now. So they're already just fighting in a position to be in that play-in tournament. So it's going to be a bad situation for them, only having 8 road games in this last stretch.
But if they make that play-in tournament and they have to play like the Heat in the first round, I would feel sorry for the Heat. If Kyrie's allowed to play and Durant's allowed to play and they're all healthy and Ben Simmons is not scared to dunk the ball on Trae Young, I'd be afraid if I was the 1 or 2 seed that has to deal with this Brooklyn team. But I think this is not the year for them anyway. I think Brooklyn is looking more towards next year, and hopefully they can bring it all together next year for their sake. Unless, again, I compared it to the Jason Kidd Nets when he was the coach, and they had brought in Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett and Darren Williams and Joe Johnson. And to me, it's the same exact thing happening with Steve Nash. It's the same parallel. I'm all about parallels when it comes to sports. It's literally the same parallel. And LeBron broke that up. And I think Giannis is going to break this one up for Brooklyn. So I think we're in the era right now talking about just different storylines as we head into the All-Star break. Giannis is the best player in the NBA, in my opinion, right this second, because your best ability is availability, and Kevin Durant can't stay healthy anymore. Kyrie Irving, even when he's not dealing with his vaccine things, he can't stay healthy either. So I don't think Brooklyn's going to be that great anyway. And Giannis is a monster. Like, he is a monster. His jump shot's getting better. His free throw shooting is getting better. So to me, in the East Coast, you got to get through Giannis. He's the defending champ. He just put a 50 piece on whoever he played on, who was Indiana yesterday. He's serious. So in the East Coast, you got to deal with him. And in the West Coast, man, Golden State is back. Phoenix to me, though, Chris, like you were just talking about with the Chris Paul, how he's orchestrating. I mean, this 36-year-old man, he plays at his own pace. He doesn't speed it up. His mid-range is crazy. And Devin Booker is becoming, one of the better players, one of the best players in the NBA as well, best two guards in the NBA. So to me, Phoenix, Golden State got a lot to say. And then in the East, you still got to get through Milwaukee. But I mean, basketball's gonna be good. But,
always great. Yeah. NBA is definitely where my heart's at. I was a basketball player growing up. That was the main sport that I focused on. Yeah. I got a little basketball hoop around my chain right here, so it's always close to my heart. The NBA is always my favorite season to really kind of stick to. And I mean, the playoffs always usually start right after my birthday, which is a really exciting time at the end of April. So, but yeah, I think these teams are in a great situation. Miami Heat is number 1 in the East right now. We have the Chicago Bulls that are number 2. And I called it as soon as they pick up DeMar DeRozan, as soon as they got Alex Caruso, as soon as they got not Kyle Kuzma. His name's slipping me right now. Lonzo Ball. And then as well as the addition of Vucevic, who was playing with Orlando Magic. I called it that it was going to be incredible. And DeMar DeRozan definitely deserves to be in the MVP conversation the way he's been playing alongside Luka Doncic, who is just, the kid's incredible, and it's great to watch. I think Dallas is that. But when we were talking about the trades, they sent Porzingis to the Washington Wizards, which, I mean, as you alluded to, it comes down to availabiliity, and he's not available when it counts, and he cannot be consistent with being healthy. So
they basically just exiled him.
We'll see what the unicorn can pull off with Kyle Kuzma over there in Washington. And Bradley Beal, yeah.
All right. Well, let's get petty real quick.
Let's get petty
as we get to the end of our show. By the way, All-Star Weekend is coming up. Team LeBron's gonna win, just so y'all know. But anyway, let's wrap this bad boy up with some pettiness. A-Rod,
you want me to go first?
You're the most petty person that I know, so I want you to go first.
I'm not petty. Why would you say that?
You have pettiness in your heart. And I have to force you to apologize. So, what are the most petty? So, Kyler Murray scrubbing off his Instagram full of Arizona Cardinal stuff, and then Arizona coming back and scrubbing all of their Instagram for a couple of days. To me, that was super petty on both hands. So, I thought that was cool that we talk about other petty moments in sports. A-Rod, what are your favorite petty moments in professional sports?
So, I got 2. One is, forever haunt me, is the greatest cheerleader in the New York area, Mr. Spike Lee, doing his rants all the time on the sidelines, and then Reggie Miller just doing the old, choke thing. And then from there on, that torch was passed to the next guy, Michael Jordan, and it was passed on to Kobe Bryant, who signed the card and said, "This is for you, Spike. You fucked up." So Spike Lee.
Trae Young with the little shiver.
Yeah, exactly. So pettiness always in the garden there. Yeah. But the biggest pettiest moment for me has to be the Last Dance documentary.
Oh my God, I have that written down.
We're the best. We think so alike. It creeps me out. The Last Dance documentary. If you thought that was a piece about the Chicago Bulls, no, it was a shit fest on Scottie Pippen is all it was, basically. So, and
not just Scottie, everybody.
And everybody that played with
everybody that came across. I mean, what was his name? The random guy that we don't even remember his name. He laughed at him at halftime or something. And LeBron, I mean, Michael shut him down for whatever. But yes, I have that written down. I also have Michael Jordan's Hall of Fame speech was also super petty because it was he called on everybody from high school on to the NBA. But anyway, go ahead, Ruth.
My petty moments, I'm gonna just throw some Bucks ones out there. Tom Brady announcing his retirement to the whole world on his Instagram, and having a great speech, very detailed down to the, last period. He made sure that he thanked all of Bucs Nations, their fans, the people, the janitors, the people that were cleaning his lockers, everybody except the New England Patriots, whom he spent 20 seasons with and won 6 championships, hosted the Lombardi Trophy 6 different times alongside Bill Belichick. So I thought that was super petty. And I also thought that it spoke volume to the relationship that he has with the New England organization. And I know that he's buddy with Robert Kraft, but there's just some underlying things that we probably don't know about. I mean, I kind of see Brady as that like stepchild that had to stay in the attic and couldn't talk to nobody and only got meals on certain days. Like, God forbid those type of stories. I hate hearing those type
Harry
of stories.
Potter.
Yeah, exactly. Under the stairwell type of thing. So I think that was super petty. And my second Bucs one is definitely going to be from this season with Antonio Brown having a tantrum, taking off his clothes, getting naked, like on the sideline. And I thought that was extremely petty. I didn't know what was going on as I was watching that game live. I was very confused. And I honestly thought he was a fan that just came off of the stand and was trying to, run on the field and do. And it was for the longest time, I'm like sitting there watching this game, like, what just happened? I don't understand what just happened. So yeah, that's definitely a huge petty moment this year in sports.
All right. For me, obviously the Last Dance documentary, it was just a full petty moment. MJ's
and he was attacking the GM like big time.
He attacked the GM, the coaches, the players.
I know, and the guy couldn't even. That's why this documentary came out the way it did, because the guy's not there to defend himself.
Exactly. He attacked Horace Grant. He said Horace Grant snitched on the play. Anybody he could bury, Michael Jordan would bury. Did it in his Hall of Fame speech, and then he did it for 10 episodes on the Last Chance doc. We were talking about Richard Sherman earlier. His whole thing with Michael Crabtree, when Aaron Andrews had him on the sideline after, and he was like, put this sorry-ass receiver on me, LOB, this was going to happen, and then all the stuff that happened after that. But for me, funny enough, because you just mentioned this guy, I am a 76ers fan, and almost 21 years ago,
don't say what you're about to say.
My boy, the greatest 76er of all time, Allen Bubba Chuck Iverson, did the step over Ty, Ron, Lou. And I was watching this and I was a kid and I was like, oh my God.
I had no idea that we're going to talk about this.
When my boy, AI, Bubba Chuck, did that little step over, I'm like, yeah, that's my dog. That's my dog.
Yeah, I mean, what else was he supposed to do?
To Ty Lue's credit, LeBron James is my second favorite player of all time after Allen Iverson. And he got my boy a ring in Cleveland when I'm forever grateful with all the gray hair. And because the hair got gray in Cleveland. I was like, man, this man needs to go take a year off or something.
Yeah.
So, so it was full circle for me with Ty Lue because AI stepped over him when he was a player. And then LeBron got rid of David Blatt, brought in Ty Lue, got my boy a ring in Cleveland. Yeah. So it's all love. It's all love.
All right. Those are good petty moments, but let's wrap up the show. Ruth, one last time, plug everything you got. Send it out to our.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate you guys having me on. We've had a lot of fun, great conversation. You guys can hold your own. So keep this show going because it's awesome. Follow me on Instagram, Ruth_the_truth with the number 1. I will give you a follow back if your page is interesting. I only like following like sports pages. So if I don't follow you back, please don't take it personal. I have like a personal page and then I have like my sports page. So I try to stick it to the sports. And if you guys have Twitter, which Twitter is an amazing community for all of us sports people to communicate. And I've met a lot of great people on Twitter and a lot of people that I collaborate with on a day-to-day. So it's awesome. Follow me at Ruth the Truth with 3 H's at the end. And I will give you a follow back, and make sure to subscribe to the NSPN Tampa Bay TV YouTube page, as well as finding us on Facebook. We have 13 different podcasts on this network, and we're working on doing our Roku TV channel. And yeah, just stay plugged in with your girl because she's on her way up.
And the TikTok is coming soon. We're gonna make a TikTok.
I gotta learn how to dance.
I'm not doing none of that dance stuff.
Ty Lue.
we do. Is this how you do it?
I called them about that commercial. I was like, "What in the world?" And you guys were on a Stairmaster and Allen Iverson.
And
Was
my
that
boy
like
AI.
all fun? Was
My
that all
boy
like a
AI is like,
connection
"This
on
how
the
you do it?"
Stairmaster? On the Stairmaster taking steps. Oh Lord,
Loved it.
You want me to throw our plug out there?
Yeah. Plug.
You got to get some practice in.
Nah, bro. Plug, bro.
All right, Twitter, fair_weather pod, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. You can find us at the Fair Weather Podcast, and wherever you subscribe to podcast listening at, we are there available for you to listen to the audio.
And TikTok is coming soon, I guess.
I mean, that is guy.
All right.
Thank you so much for jumping on the show, Ruth. Really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime.
Thanks.